Hello, everyone, and welcome to the third episode of the 10 Count podcast, starring myself, Kyle Crosby, alongside my broadcast colleague, Michael Malley, a.k.a. Maggle. So, Maggle, we're going to go right into it again. The Elimination Chamber is this Sunday. Who is your prediction to take the W in this one?
To take W, I'm going to go with Cena.
Fucking bullshit!
Gross. Absolutely gross.
I know you didn't like that answer.
No, it's absolutely disgusting. I am going to go with Bray Wyatt, even though it's the popular vote. It is the most sensible vote. It is the smart and best for business vote, in my opinion. Bray Wyatt, he should have gotten that title 3 years ago, at the least, in my opinion. I'm tired of waiting as a fan myself. I was tired of waiting 2 years ago.
This one's going to be kind of tricky because there's been a lot of... they threw us for a lot of loops on this Chamber segue. You know, on Smackdown this past week, Corbin won this big, fantastic Fatal 4-Way.
Yeah, it was amazing. It was such a great match. Except for The Miz.
For The Miz. And I was about to bring that up, is that there's a lot of rumors that he could potentially walk out. And I know we both are not huge fans of The Miz. And there's...
Right. And I like to keep this podcast unbiased, and because I know I have some viewers who are fans of The Miz. And I respect you, but I do not like The Miz at all. He's not entertaining. There's nothing entertaining about this guy. He's just a generic heel. Like, he's just like bleh, like you just throw up and it's a heel. Whatever. He's not flashy. He's not entertaining. His matches are boring unless he's being carried by whomever he may be fighting at the time.
And I'm going to say that same thing, as I feel the exact same way toward Dean right now. I used to be a huge fan of Dean Ambrose, and then all of a sudden, like we were talking last week and the week before, Dean has this opportunity to kind of reevaluate and be this insane Brian Pillman character, and right now it just seems like it's just dragging on and on about this character that's just it not really feel like going anywhere. He's not even really a lunatic anymore, and I sort of feel like those two are kind of in this limbo right now. In terms of that, but Bray is coming off very strong, and I will agree with that. Bray has a big possibility, considering the fact that Randy won the Royal Rumble this past.
Honestly, Maggle, it should be Ziggler in the Elimination Chamber instead of Miz, and it's ridiculous what they have Ziggler doing right now. He lost to Apollo Crews, and now he's in a handicap match with him and Kalisto. What are they doing with Ziggler?
You know what, I've been thinking about that same thing, like from the very beginning. Is like they had this really ambition to make him heel, make him this villain, and I think it can work because it worked for Shawn, and he has this Shawn Michaels kind of feel to his character. And
he needs to drop that. I think he should just adopt his own. He's just trying to mooch off of Shawn Michaels' persona.
But I don't necessarily think it's a bad idea. They can make it. I mean, they started doing it a little bit with like this 80s like Motley Crue Van Halen thing they have going on.
I did enjoy that. Yeah.
So
yeah.
I think it can work.
It should have came out to 80s music. That would have been even better.
That would have been really, really cool. But the problem was the first night that they made him a heel, they made him lose to Kalisto, and now they got him in this Elimination Chamber match with Apollo Crews and Kalisto in a handicap match.
Total garbage.
I got a question for you, Kyle. I was thinking about this. Do you think there'll ever be a 8-person Elimination Chamber?
It would be nice. Why? What were you...
I was just thinking that because I think in capacity, when you think about things like the Rumble, it's about the number of people and the probability that certain people are going to pop up. And I think with 6, there's a lot of possibility that this person could come out or this person can come out. But imagine 8 and how much longer and how much more unexpected the match was, as well as giving opportunities to up and coming versus the main 6. Because I think the 6 are always going to be like, those are going to be always in the crosshairs of the titles. And it's going to be that way. That's how WWE works. But
they had a tag team... Elimination Chamber before. They had those amount of people.
I forgot.
I think that's I think it would be great to have 8 men in 8 different pods.
Imagine how big that thing would be.
Right, it would be huge.
That's what she said.
Speaking of tag teams, I think that American Alpha will retain at Elimination Chamber. But, I really do hope that the Ascension would come off with a win here. I just hope they get a resurgence to the way they used to be in NXT when they were so, power.
This whole tag team division right now is kind of lame. It started off really strong. I remember watching Smackdown this week and just kind of fast forwarding through the tag team match because it just didn't. It doesn't have the same impact it did when it first started. That being said, I think the strongest component are the champions at the moment, the American Alpha.
I don't know why tag team reminded me of Natalya. I think it's because her dad, Neidhart, was with the Hart Foundation, and they were, really good. But Natalya's fighting Nikki, and as much as I would love, I want to like Natalya, I can't. Her acting is just outrageously horrible. And I'll tell you the segment. Her and Nikki on the Big Titantron on SmackDown, when she just had the smirk the entire time. Like, you're supposed to react to where, like, you're not... Like, Nikki is getting the better of you as well. It's tit for tat. No pun intended. Woo! And she was just smiling and like, oh yeah, you don't got me, and that kind of stuff. Well, Nikki, on the other hand, sold it. She sold every diss that Natalya put her way, and she dished it as well. But it just didn't seem like Nikki was getting her own, because Natalya wasn't really, showing any emotion.
I disagree with you. I feel like she's living up to Cena's bar that he set, and I think WWE is trying to carry that over with.
Yeah, I'll go with Natalya as well. I like her as a wrestler. Don't get me wrong, she's very talented, and I would love her push, but it's just her acting was awful. She just needs some classes. It wouldn't be that bad. Mickey and Becky. It's just an old veteran versus a young buck, basically. I'm pulling for Becky because I didn't really give a shit about Mickie James. It's cool she's back, all this nostalgia for fans of that, but I wasn't really watching the product back whenever she came to prominence.
I'm gonna pull with Mickie because Mickie is my girl. I remember watching her matches with Trish Stratus. I remember back.
You remember? I remember. Moving on to who I think is the best woman in the division, Alexa Bliss taking on Naomi. I would love Naomi to win this and go on to WrestleMania, and it could be a triple threat or a fatal four-way: Mickey, Becky, Naomi, and Alexa.
That's a pretty good guess too.
That would be really a great fatal four-way for WrestleMania. Mm-hmm. Naomi going in as champ. She could retain. She can lose it to either one, but I think it would be a great match. I
think you compare it to any women on the roster. I think Naomi has just the athleticism, the flexibility, just the amount of things that she can possibly do in the ring is incredible. That also being said, I know we're both kind of on the same page with Bliss. Bliss is phenomenal heel right now.
Oh yeah, she's hot fire.
What?
But I'm going to give my prediction to Bliss retaining.
Oh wow, okay, this can be interesting. Now, we had a disagreement about this. I thought that this would be the easiest match to call of the card. Luke Harper versus Randy Orton. But you seem to think otherwise. What's with that?
Luke plays such an interesting part in this game because you don't know where Luke is kind of going with it. You have these three guys. You have Bray, Randy, and Luke. Bray is in the chamber. Strong possibility of winning and facing Randy. But Luke is this third wheel that is completely unpredictable. You don't know what's going to happen with him. And he kind of holds the storyline together between the family.
No, I think you're absolutely wrong. They would not let Randy Orton lose a match right before he's going to go to WrestleMania. They fed up Alberto Del Rio to Batista after Batista won. Who did they feed to Roman Reigns? Triple H didn't. Yeah, he fought Dean Ambrose after he won the Rumble. It's just ridiculous to think that Luke Harper will come away, but it'll be a good match. I think it'll have some tense moments and everything.
We've seen some things happen without us. Like most of the stuff happened at the Rumble, where a lot of stuff was unpredicted. So Who knows? Anything can happen.
Exactly. Switching gears real quick to Raw. Seth Rollins is injured. You think it's kayfabe?
I think it is. I honestly think that was a pulled-up image. I honestly think that he's going to be ready, quote-unquote, for Triple H at WrestleMania.
Samoa Joe made his debut against Roman Reigns. Thank God for Braun Strowman. Roman Reigns is getting on my last nerves. I can't stand him.
You're not the only one.
Right. I mean, Joe, thank God he won. I thought it was going to go down a different road for a second. And his debut would have been completely ruined. You know what I mean? I'm glad it didn't turn out that way.
You know what the most shocking thing about this is that Joe came out in a suit.
Yeah, it shows a different side.
Yeah, it shows more of like an authority kind of.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because he's never
like a lackey, a lapdog, yeah. Jamie Noble, Joey Mercury.
He's sort of, I feel like he's becoming like the new Seth Rollins of sorts, because when Seth came out, he came out in that black suit.
Yeah, he's Triple H's new guy.
Yeah.
That's the whole gimmick.
Went from being Kevin to Joe real quick.
Speaking of Kevin Owens versus Goldberg. I hope Goldberg wins. I'll say it.
It's pretty obvious.
I hope he wins. I would mark the hell out if Goldberg would win.
I only say that because I would love to see Owens versus Jericho for the U.S. title.
I think that would happen, but then it would be Goldberg versus Brock for the world title, and then who would...
What? Yeah, right?
Yeah, and then who would have... What? Now for our segment, Superstar of the Week.
Oh, yeah!
For Raw, I have Samoa Joe. I mean, it's a strong debut. I really think that he's bound for great things, and this is the start of something good. Some good cooking.
The fact that he can beat the quote-unquote big dog of the WWE in his first debut match is incredible to where he can go. It means that Vince has faith in him as a superstar, which he's never had, because look how long it's been since he actually he made his debut into the WWE. But I am going to give my Superstar of the Week to Braun Strowman, who annihilated Roman at the end, and not only did that, but destroyed all those little cruiserweights, and then topped the show. So I mean, he's the man.
I love it. I'm really big on Strowman, that, and he's bound for greatness as well. Smackdown, I'm going to give it to my boy Corbin. That fatal 4-way match, though. Man, he just dominated. It was just a great showing. I love AJ Styles, but, I mean, Corbin's the man right now. I think he's going to be an up-and-comer. Not in the next few months, I think, but later on down the line. Maybe he's a summertime breakout, I think. Well, how about you? What do you got for SmackDown?
I agree. I think Corbin made a big impact in that Fatal 4-Way, and I know it's going to hurt you to say. I know that you're not going to like what I have to say, but I'm going to give my Superstar of the Week for SmackDown to John Cena.
Okay, I have to press this button, right?
Fucking bullshit!
Okay, that's what I think of your pick of John Cena, but
he topped it, man. He topped SmackDown off, and he beat AJ. And every time AJ and him are in the ring, I hated admitting it in the beginning, but the more I see AJ and Cena in the ring, the more I believe that they can carry some match of the years.
Well, that just about does it for us here at the 10 Count Podcast. Please like the video and subscribe to Channel D Productions, and let us know what you think in the comments section below. Join us next week for another podcast.
I'll hit that bell.